The ultimate life form.
Chaos
Vengeance.
Space
Desperation.
Supersonic.
Collision.
Untamed power of Chaos Emerald.
Professor Gerald, the truth about 50
End
years
of
ago.
everything.
Sonic Adventure 2. Last episode. Wishes are eternal.
Hello everybody, SlimKirby here. Welcome to the final story, the last story of Sonic Adventure 2. I went ahead and played the last story trailer right before this. It's basically the trailer you get whenever you beat a story mode. Well, not counting last story mode, obviously, but whenever you beat these two story modes after you've beaten one of them to begin with. So, basically, if you want to see both of the just unique storyline trailers, well, you can't really do that in one playthrough, as I've discussed numerous times. But anyway, we're going to move on from that, and we're going to go straight into the last story here. Before we do, let's change the theme again. We have Robotnik for the dark side, but we're kind of finished with the dark side, so let's go ahead and change it. And we're going to change it, I guess we'll just change it to Sonic. Or you know what? No, let's change it to Shadow. That actually does look pretty cool in the background, I have to admit. But again, like I said before, the menu theme doesn't really change too much. It's just that you hear Shadow voice clips instead of Eggman now. Which, maybe throughout the playthrough I'll kind of, well, not really through, like, this part of the playthrough, but when I do the, stream playthrough where I try to get all the emblems and stuff, maybe I'll kind of change periodically through those sessions. But anyway, let's go ahead and jump back into story mode here. We're going to be jumping into the last story. So this is basically the continuation of both stories. Now, at first, it'll look like it's actually continuing from the Dark Side story because it begins with Eggman at the central control room. But I feel like what the game intended to do was try to make it so both stories were somehow canon. Because if you remember at the end of the Hero Side story, while Sonic is radioing Tails and Amy to tell him that, oh hey, I'm actually alive after all, Eggman actually snatches the last emerald, so he kind of grabs that and then goes over here and puts the emerald in. But then that also creates the paradox of, well, Sonic did destroy the cannon, so it doesn't really matter. I don't know. This game is full of plot holes, but, what can you say? It's Sonic. Let's go ahead and get this started.
What's going on? Why doesn't the cannon fire? What's happening here? It's my grandfather, Gerald Robotnik.
What's that vibration?
Hey, wait. Someone is coming.
You haven't given up yet?
It's all over for us.
What do you
I
mean?
just received a message from my boss. The space colony Ark is currently approaching the Earth at an incredible velocity. It probably will impact Earth.
What's that on the screen?
This is a death sentence for every human being on Earth. If my calculations are correct, the space colony Ark will impact the Earth in 27 minutes and 53 seconds. All of you will be destroyed, along with your beloved planet Earth.
I plan to give you a taste of my revenge once all the 7 Chaos Emeralds are collected. Once I initiate this program, it cannot be disabled. All of you ungrateful humans who took everything away from me Is there anything else you want to say? No. Ready!
What's going on here? Who is that?
I plan to give you a taste of my revenge.
The vibration's getting
once all
worse.
this-
Professor Gerald Robotnik, one of the greatest scientific minds in the world, and my grandfather.
What? I knew you were behind all this. Stop it right now, or else...
I'd have done this a long time ago if I had the chance.
What do you mean?
You're pretty persistent for a hedgehog, aren't you? You're still alive,
Just
huh?
letting Knuckles pilot the shuttle on the way over here was more dangerous than you could ever be.
What is this?
This is my grandfather's diary.
I don't quite know what happened or what went wrong. Was it a mistake to create the ultimate life form? I thought it would be something that would benefit mankind, but then the military guards landed on the colony that day. They were sent to destroy the research project that I had been working on. My colleagues at the research facility, my granddaughter, Maria, I hope you are all safe. The colony was completely
closed
shut down, probably to keep the prototype from falling into the wrong hands.
Into the wrong hands. The Ark was shut down under the premise that there had been an accident. I found Maria's name among those who died when the Ark was shut down. She meant everything to me, and I couldn't bear the thought that she died because of my research. I lost everything. I had nothing more to live for. I went insane. All I could think about was to avenge her. Somehow, some way. I got scared as I no longer was able to control my thoughts. All I could think about was that I wanted it all to be based on my original projections. I was able to complete my project, Shadow. I designed its mind to be perfect. Pure. I will leave everything to him. If you wish, release and awaken it
If
to
you
the
wish to
world.
fill the world with destruction... Oh, so that's why you released Shadow from the base.
The core of the Eclipse cannon is now highly reactive and explosive. This is because the Chaos Emerald is overpowered. If the colony collides with Earth, it will shatter into pieces like my grandfather predicted. That mad scientist!
That should be you, right? We have to stop the space colony now!
The space colony arc position may have shifted due to the amount of energy given off by the emeralds. We have to stop the energy.
But how?
That's it. There is a way to stop the energy. We have to use your emerald. You're the one that told me that the Master Emerald has the power to stop the Chaos Emerald.
That's right. If I use this, I just might be able to stop the Chaos Emerald.
The reaction of the Chaos Emerald is moving toward the cannon's core. It may be too late.
There still may be some time left. If we pull together, we might be able to get to the shortcut that leads to the core.
No worries. Just leave it to me. I'm the world's fastest hedgehog.
Then, let's get to work!
Okay, so here is the final stage of the game, Cannon's Core. It may look like a Sonic level, but we're actually controlling everybody in this one. It's basically divided into 5 sections, and basically you go through all the characters until you get to the end, pretty much. That's what we're going to do. First up is Tails, so you have a mech section. Robotnik will kind of tell you what to do as you're going through here, but I mean, it's a pretty linear path, so you don't really have much to worry about. As far as, you know, getting the A rank here, I feel like a lot of people are pretty intimidated by this stage for good reason. But honestly, getting A rank here is not that hard, which means I'm probably not going to get A rank because of my own hubris, but it's really not that bad. And what makes it kind of easy is that deaths are not really punishing here. It's only punishing in one case, and I'll talk about that when we get to that. But otherwise, like, you know, you can actually do this, I feel like, fairly easily. But yeah, just treat this like any other level. First you have the 2 mech stages, then you'll have the 2 treasure hunters, and then you'll have Sonic. Obviously, Shadow's not here, so Shadow's not going to, you know, he's not going to be part of this mission, I suppose. Which kind of sucks, but he'll have his own glory, I guess, later on. And the main gimmick of this stage is obviously that little time stone. And basically, whenever you hit the time stone, time will freeze completely. Even like your actual in-game level timer too. So that's actually kind of helpful if I'm being quite honest, because you can just kind of keep hitting that switch and stop time, and give yourself kind of a slightly bigger time bonus. Now we do have to kind of, damn it. Okay, there we go. We do have to kind of let that go just so we can finish this up. But yeah, overall, I don't hate this final stage. I like it better than what they did in Sonic Adventure 1, where it was literally just a boss fight. Like, it actually does something with all the characters, which is kind of cool. But as far as but as far as you know, last stages go, I think it is definitely probably like one of the better ones. I obviously haven't played like Sonic 06 and some of the more recent 3D Sonic games. The only recent Sonic game I've actually played the completion was Generations, and that was like a very... It kind of handled things in a different way anyway. But from what I have seen from other playthroughs, it does seem like a lot of the final stages just kind of go with like, oh hey, it's just a boss and like a lot of cutscenes. So I kind of talked about earlier that Eggman's portion is actually the most punishing if you die. The reason why it's the most punishing, and the reason why you have to be careful in Eggman's portion, is it's the only section that actually has a checkpoint. If you die as any of the other characters, you'll actually start back at the beginning of the section, but you'll still have all your points from the previous section. So if you reach the checkpoint in Eggman's section, what's punishing about it is obviously if you die past that checkpoint, you'll stop at the checkpoint, and then you'll lose your points based on that. So like that checkpoint right there, be very careful that you don't die beyond here until you get to the next character section. Aside from that though, getting A rank is not too bad. You need kind of I believe like 30,000 points, or you know, somewhere in that threshold anyway. But it's really not too bad. Like, we're already at 20,000, which is pretty good considering we still have 3 characters to get through. And there's also the Gold Beetle, which I believe is in Sonic's section anyway. So this section is kind of difficult. I don't think I can... No, I can't get up here, unfortunately. I can't get up here, though. And there we go. We made it to the end of Eggman's sections. Now we start the treasure hunting sections, which are kind of weird, because you're not actually, like, hunting for emerald pieces or keys or anything. You're literally just kind of controlling these characters as you get to the end of the stage. It's almost like the treasure hunting stages have like the same kind of ending as like a speed stage, which is, it's interesting, but you know, you're not actually looking for anything. You're not actually hunting for anything specifically. So yeah, for Rouge's section, your goal is to get basically to a switch so you can drain the liquid, but to do that we have to kind of make our way through this section here. I'm also going to defeat some of the enemies here just to kind of get some points. I mean, I don't feel like I'll actually like fail or not get the A rank or anything. I feel pretty confident here, but you know, definitely want to make sure, because you know, even though the level isn't too bad, it is kind of a long-ish level to redo, all things considered. Just trying to do what I can to get this done in a quick period of time. And that's actually Rouge's section. Her section is probably the shortest and easiest of the group. There's not really a lot of threats, just those artificial chaoses near the first switch. So next up we have Knuckles, and Knuckles is notoriously feared as probably the worst section of this level, for very good reasons. You spend a lot of this time underwater, and this is why you want to get the air necklace in Aquatic Mine before you do this level, just because it makes this level a lot easier, because you'll be underwater for a good portion of this. So yeah, make sure you definitely get that air necklace. So first off, we want to go here, hit this switch, that'll remove the lasers for that section. And now we go back down, and we do the next part. Kind of like in, you know, Rouge's section, like where you should probably kill the enemies if you can. For Knuckles' section, I would recommend, like, you know, if you can grab rings, definitely see if you can get the rings, just because it will kind of make things, it'll give you very little points, but still points regardless. I also feel like this is going to throw me back, unfortunately, but that's okay. Oh, I'm actually surprised I made it through that. Hey, not complaining whatsoever. Gonna get a shield as well. I'll go ahead and grab this capsule. The ring capsule, but still, we'll take it. Okay, this part, I feel like this part's kind of tight. Just kind of, though. Oh, come on, really? Oh, that's annoying. I made it past the first one, but didn't do the second one. But I kind of hesitated too, so I can probably do it this time. Well, maybe not now, after I messed that up. Come on, hit that. Hit the damn switch. There we go. And I believe this will end Knuckles' section, which means we're moving on to Sonic's section. Sonic's section is not very long either. I'd say it's just slightly longer than Rouge's section, but not by much. And again, remember, you don't have to worry about dying, because if you die, you'll just go to the beginning of Sonic's section with all the points you had when you reached Sonic's section, so it is really, really nice that the game decided to be kind of generous in that fashion. You know what, I'm gonna try to see if I can capitalize here. There we go. I got some extra points, which is nice. Now, like I said, I do need to make sure that I get the gold robot here. I think I got it. I think we're good to go for the rest of this level. And then, yeah, this is where the level pretty much ends. So honestly, it might actually be kind of shorter than Rouge's section, actually. It just kind of has a very quick, weird little end right here. And there we go. That's the end of the level. Ganon's core has been completed. Yeah, that should definitely be an A rank. So we are done with that.
That was cool.